I've lost count of the number of games where my opponents have played the Ragozin defense and had no idea how to follow it up. Okay, to avoid the Nimzo Indian, white might play knight f3 and then knight c3, but we can play bishop b4 to Ragozin anyway. But so many opponents just end up playing bishop c3 and giving up their good bishop for no real reason. So let's show you how to play it instead in this starting out video. By the way, if they do play a move like e3, you really should know how to deal with this already because it can come up a lot via the Nimzo Indian Rubinstein variation. So we're not going to cover that so much today. We're going to focus more on the main lines of bishop to g5 and also c takes d5. And if they do play something like queen a4, which is something I'll probably do a video on from white's point of view later on. Yeah, the main plan in these cases is just to take on c4, bishop d6, and yeah, just go for the e5 break. That'll allow you to, free up your light squared bishop, and that's going to give you a pretty decent game. But let's focus on the moves you're going to face a bit more often. So if they play c takes d5, usually they're going to play it with bishop g5 afterwards, and then you have a little bit of a choice of how you want to play it. But my suggestion is just to keep it simple, put the question to the bishop. You're not really concerned if they take on f6, because they can't play knight d5 anyway because of the pin. And they don't have queen a4 to win the bishop, because you just go knight c6, and, I mean, you're just fine in this position. Like bishop e6, a6, bishop d6. The pieces go to pretty natural squares. Like, it's one thing that's nice about playing the Ragozin, is you do get a lot of very nice active piece play to work with. After bishop h4 castles e3, I would probably just go with the move of bishop to f5. I mean, the old school way to play just go c5 and just try to, like, put a lot of pressure on the c3 knight as such. But they can play dc5 and you get stuck with this IQP, which is not really ideal. Whereas bishop f5 is a little more classical, like you can go like knight d7, rook e8, and your bishops just have these very nice diagonals. Like whenever you can get this kind of structure where, you just have like no bad pieces and you can put the knight on e4 later, it's just going to be very pleasant as such. Obviously you have to get out of the pin first, but yeah, this is what you're working for in these kind of Carlsbad positions. And I mean, the minority attack's not even scary when you've got like knight c4 holes to latch onto. But anyway, let's have a look at also bishop g5. I think that's a move you're probably going to face the most often. I do like the move h6 here as well. The Vienna with dc4 is also pretty decent, but that would be more for a 1 hour video, not a 5-minute video. And if you are enjoying this video, do make sure to leave a like and also to consider subscribing. But I'm going to suggest the move h6, where white really should take on f6, because if he retreats, the problem is that you can now take on c4 and have an improved Vienna. Because if they go e4, which is what they want to do, maybe you see the problem here. g5, and we can just take on e4 and just destroy their center, basically. So when you play h6, you kind of get the bishop pair advantage, which is quite nice. Again, if they play queen a4, you just go knight c6 and, basically just play for the e5 break in the middle game. As long as you get an e5, you're never really going to be worse in these sorts of positions, generally speaking. But what if they play e3 and just kind of play a bit more quietly? So in this case, you do have a few options available. With rook c1, white's idea is kind of to be able to play bishop takes c4 in one go. If white were to move the bishop, we kind of get a better version of the other lines we'll see, where white took 2 moves to get that bishop to c4, whereas in this version we only took 1 move. But still, this is a good approach for black, like c5, castles, and there are a few different moves white can play from here which don't really fit for, let's say, a really detailed video, but more advanced students might like to explore, say, knight e4, knight d4, and e takes d4. White's going to try to use his lead in development and not let us develop so quickly. But it's not something too much to worry about. Like knight d4, we can go bishop d7 and just, put the rooks in the center. Knight c6 is going to be fine for black. If they play e d4, then yeah, you just kind of play like, you can even just give up the bishop pair if you want to, and just say that you'll have good play against their hanging pawns, just developing very Nimzo kind of style, trading carry bishop rooks to the center. And knight e4, yeah, a bit trickier, but yeah, if you play it correctly, you're also going to be fine here as black, just with, again, pretty normal developing moves. And that's really what makes the Ragozin such an appealing system. You get this very active piece playing all the lines. You don't really have any major weaknesses, and this is why many of the world's best players play this system. Let me know in the comments below, what was your favorite part of this training? You know, was there a particular move or idea that jumped out at you? Is there an opening you'd like me to cover in the next training? Let me know down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.